So the Pittsburgh Penguins draw first blood. They won the game last night 3-2 over the Washington Capitals, and let me tell you, that was a huge win. They stole a win in Washington, and worst comes to worst, we have a 1-1 split heading back to Pittsburgh for games 3 and 4. Pittsburgh absolutely did not deserve that win at all. Washington was the better team by far all night. Pittsburgh only had 21 shots on net. Washington had over 40. That's the fewest shots in a playoff game that Pittsburgh's had for a while. They are just lucky that Marc-Andre Fleury stood on his head as he has done this playoffs, which is weird. And Braden Holtby was not good because that was not a good effort from Pittsburgh. And if they want to win the cup again or beat Washington, they can't play like that because you can't expect to have that kind of showing and win every night. It's not happening. The Crosby line was great all night. I really liked Sheary and Gensel on that line. I'm not as big of a fan as Horny back there. He provides a different element. He provides a more feisty element, but I really like the speed that Sheary, Crosby, and Gensel had going on. Sid and the Kids was such a fun line, and they were so fast, and the puck possession was ridiculous last round, so I don't know really why Mike Sullivan took Sheary off after that one not great showing. And he hasn't looked good. He didn't look good with Bonino and Wilson. I don't think he's suited to that type of role. But Bonino went and scored the winning goal after a terrible night for them. So, go figure. Interesting. Opportunistic. Pittsburgh was a very opportunistic team last night. That's not the way you want to play. Or 2 nights ago, I guess. No. That's not the way you want to play. You don't want to play opportunistic. You want to play, as Mike Sullivan says, fast and fearless, in their face. You want to always have the puck and have puck possession, and Pittsburgh did not do that very well. Against Columbus, they were better. They had slow starts. They had a good start against Washington, but after that, the Capitals just took over. Against Columbus, it was the opposite. They had a slow start, and then they kind of took over. And they gave up a lot of shots against Columbus, but they also got a lot of shots on net. And this season, we have seen them not be as good defensively as they were last season when Sullivan took over in the playoffs. I think a big reason for that, too, is that they haven't had Letang for long stretches. And you can see how their breakout really struggles without Letang. It's not good. And why Ron Hainsey is leading all defensemen in ice time is very strange. I mean, the ice time is very evenly divided now. But, Justin Schultz is your best Chris Letang option. He's your best replacement. He should be the one that's getting those number one minutes. That's leading the team in ice time. I would put him with Brian Dumoulin because I've beaten this around the bush. I don't like Dumoulin Hainsey pairing. I think it's a little bit too slow. It scares me. But you have Schultz and Dumoulin. You're basically having a poor man's Chris Letang with Dumoulin, who is Letang's regular partner. Matt has really played a lot better. And then you can have but Mata and Daly together is, you can put maybe Mata with Cole because Cole's played very well. And then you can put, what I would do is I would put then either Daly with Hainsey, or you just take out, either scratch one of Daly or Hainsey and you put Streit in there, because Streit has really been good for Pittsburgh, especially on the power play. And he can provide some more of that offense that Pittsburgh is seriously lacking without Chris Letang, because they don't really have anyone that can break the puck out of the zone cleanly. Mata is getting better at it. Dumoulin can do it, but not to the same extent that Letang can, and that Justin Schultz can to a bit smaller of an extent. So I would definitely switch up the D pairings because they're not working right now, whatever they are. And I don't know if that third line just had a bad game. Sheary must be battling something because I've never seen him look that bad. I've never seen Pittsburgh overall look that bad. So something's got to change there. Hagelin looks like he'll be coming back tonight, though. It's just huge because he's going to add a lot of speed to the lineup. And the Capitals really struggled with that last season and in the first round against Toronto. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that he'd be reunited with Malkin and Kessel, which was a heck of a line in the regular season when it was going, and that's a really fun line, the HMK line. And then Mike Sullivan's got a tough question: who does he want to scratch? You could argue Kuhnhackl in a very replaceable role, but he's actually done some pretty good things in the penalty kill. although Pittsburgh didn't take any penalties last game. Or Scott Wilson's not really impressed me that much. He's been kind of meh, although he did get an assist on that goal. So, maybe one of those two guys you take out, you plug Hagelin in there, because then you could have Bonino with, if you're going to keep Sherry on that line, which I personally would, and I'd put Sherry back with Crosby, but if you're going to do that, you can put Bonino with Horny, Bonino with Sherry, and Wilson. Well, that was the line last game that didn't look good. I would give them another chance and see. It might have just been an off game for them, but if that's not line's not working, then I would move Sherry back up to the Crosby line and put Horny down there, because that line when Horny was there was good, and Horny provided some of that physicalness and that fierceness. Or you can then swap out Kuhnhackl and put Kuhnhackl on the third line, and then drop Wilson down to the fourth line. And then I would have the fourth line's actually been excellent with, you have Cullen, Kunitz, and Kuhnhackl. That's a heck of a fourth line. Or you could also put Kunitz on the third line and drop Wilson down to the fourth line. So Mike Sullivan can play with his bottom two lines a lot, but the third line, I think, is a problem right now, and that was the Penguins' strongest line last season, so they definitely want to get that strength up again. The fourth line, though, has been very impressed with them, whether it was Rowney, Wilson, or Kuhnhackl, whatever iteration of the line it was. They always seem to be very good. Right now, with Cullen and Kunitz and Kuhnhackl, it's a very strong line. But I would maybe put Kunitz up on the third line, because Nick Bonino needs a bit of a boost, but he stepped it up. He stepped up when the team needed him, which is what he did in playoffs last year. And, he's not had a great season, but he knows how to score big goals. And, that was an opportunistic thing. But I think you could add Kunitz there and maybe put Wilson down to the fourth line. But then, who are you scratching for? Hagelin. So it's a good problem to have, actually. The Penguins' forward depth is a very good problem to have. And, the Penguins are underdogs in the series, and they'll gladly take that. Gladly just take the underdog status. They'll bide their time, and they'll come in there, and they'll hopefully play better than they did last game, because that was an abysmal showing. And you can't rely on Fleury to make 40 saves every game, because he's probably not going to. And, Matt Murray, he's not practicing, so God knows when he's ready. Not even close to practicing. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't come back at all at this point, because groin injuries are very tough, and he's already struggled with injuries this season. Not in the groin area, but that's not something you want to rush a goalie back from. Carey Price rushed back from his groin injury, or groin or knee injury, and ended up missing the whole rest of the season. And the Penguins are probably going to trade Fleury in the summer, so they can't have an injured Murray going into the season. And there might not be a long summer for him to rehab it. So I definitely think they should take their time with Murray. Let Fleury enjoy his last few months as a Penguin. Let us all get heart attacks while it happens, but, let him ride it out. And, the better he plays, the better it is for Pittsburgh, because they'll have higher trade value, which is ultimately what you want. So Pittsburgh can get something back from him. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's doing well. My heart is maybe not so happy, but that's it's a different story. So, yeah, overall, I want to say a good game, but it wasn't a good game. The Penguins are very lucky they survived it with the win, and they're going to have to play better tonight if they want to escape with the win, because, yikes, that was a bad effort. But Crosby got 2 quick goals. Malkin was surprisingly quiet, but I look for him to step it up tonight, as well as Kessel. I do think ultimately the Penguins' forward depth is better than last year, and it can maybe overtake Washington's, but that D is very scary. It's not great without Letang. Also not great when Hainsey's playing 19 minutes a night. He's fine in a third pairing role, but not a top pairing role. So that's all I have for this video. Please like if you like, subscribe if you really, really like it, share it with all your friends, tell everyone, and I'll see you after the game tonight. Will it be a 2-0 lead or a 1-1 lead? I've said Capitals in 7, so I'm betting on a 1-0, 1-1 series tie.